Hey folks, thank you very much for tuning in. My name's YellowHat, and today we're returning to our gun guide series after a very long break where we go over all the stats and quirks of each weapon in Pavlov VR. In today's episode, we're going to continue our in-depth look at the modern assault rifles in Pavlov. And today, we're going to look at one of the newer additions to Pavlov, the Galil. The Galil has been in the game for quite some time now, and while it wasn't originally in Search and Destroy, it made its way in, and it's sitting in a pretty decent spot in the meta. So, with that said, let's break down the Galil's stats. The Galil deals a base damage of 20, meaning that it's a 5-hit kill to an unarmored player. The armor damage of this weapon is 45, meaning that it takes 3 hits to strip a player's armor off. The armor penetration of this weapon is 100%, meaning that the Galil will retain its 5-hit kill value to armored players. The helmet damage of this weapon is 100, meaning that the Galil will take a player's helmet off in 1 hit. In addition to this, the helmet penetration is 75%, meaning that the Galil will do 75% of the receiving player's current health in damage. From full health, it would then take 2 body shots to finish off a player. The bullet velocity of the Galil is on par with the other assault rifles in the game, sitting at 2,312 feet per second. The magazine capacity of the Galil is 35 rounds plus 1 in the chamber, which is the largest of all assault rifles, tied with the AUG. The Galil has the most ammo in the magazine of any modern automatic rifle. The Galil is tied with the AK-12 for fire rate, shooting at 631 rounds per minute. With its 5-hit kill profile though, the Galil can struggle to keep up with the other assault rifles, as its time to kill sits just at 380 milliseconds, which is on the slower end of the assault rifle class, just beating out the burst rifles and the G3. The Galil can only be found on T side, or the RU side, and cannot be purchased on the CT side or the NATO side. Anyways, with the numbers out of the way, let's go over how to reload the Galil. The reload process on the Galil is similar to other AK platform weapons. Just pull out the magazine with your trigger grip, grab a fresh one from your pouch, and if you need to do a full reload, rack the charge handle on the right side. Like the other AK platform weapons, you can smack the mag out with another magazine to do your reload instead. Before we get to the economic overview, let's have a look at the Galil's recoil pattern. The recoil of this weapon is pretty manageable, with the first few initial shots being vertical and the latter half of the spray being horizontal, or side to side. Full autoing this weapon at close to mid-range is decently easy, however at far range it gets a little bit more dicey, and it's actually more beneficial to shoot in 5 to 6 round bursts. From an economic standpoint, the Galil is a decent choice in most situations, which we'll get to later in the video. The Galil costs $2,300 and it has a kill bonus of $300, which is on par with pretty much all the other assault rifles. Since the Galil costs $2,300, this means that the minimum amount of money you need to buy armor and a Galil is $2,950. In order to buy a helmet and a Galil, you need $3,300. And I'd recommend buying this more so that you have a better time dealing with the other AK-12, Galil, or M4 users. In terms of attachments, the Galil is a bit limited with what it can take. It can accept all sights except for the candid sight. It can't take a laser, a flashlight, or any of the foregrips, but it can also take a suppressor. I recommend saving the money on attachments and putting it towards utility or other needs. The iron sights of the Galil do have a bit more to be desired in all honesty, and I personally find them a bit difficult to line up, as they don't have any night sights like the AK or the M4. This means it can get a bit difficult to use the iron sights in a dark area or against a dark background. With this in mind, I would recommend either one of the dot sights, the red dot or the holographic sight. With all this mentioned, I feel that you should buy the Galil when your team is more or less economically stable, and you have at least $3,300. This is to account for any utility that you may need for the next round. The Galil works excellently should you need to force buy a rifle and be unable to buy an AK-47. The Galil is also a good choice for a round 2 buy and search and destroy, as you'll have the exact amount needed for a helmet, armor, and the rifle itself. So, What are my overall thoughts on the Galil? It's a weapon that, while it doesn't stand out like the AK or the M4, it's certainly usable and can be a good choice for someone who wishes to use something other than the AK-47 or the AK-12. It's also a good, cheap buy assault rifle that can bring you back into the game if you're strapped for cash and can't buy an AK-47. It's a relatively easy rifle to learn and does not have that many drawbacks. Ultimately, if you were someone that mained the M4 before the weapons were split, which is quite a while ago, I would highly recommend giving the Galil a try. If you do have the money for an AK-47 or an AK-12 though, those weapons should ideally be chosen over the Galil. If there were any stats that you didn't see covered that you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what weapon you'd like to see next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something useful from this video. If you did, and if you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to keep up to date with when I upload. Be sure to also check out my social links in the description below. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope to see you folks in the next video. Take it easy.